The one standing on the far left is Beijing's go-to analyst on U.S.-China relations and Chinese professor Jin Canrong. The picture was said to be taken at his son's wedding ceremony. Someone said Jin Canrong's son holds a PhD in political science and government from the U.S. His daughter-in-law has also studied in the U.S. However, Jin Canrong often criticizes the U.S. as if it is the worst country in the world. Someone said in communist China, a large number of wealthy people have immigrated or are considering immigrating. They also took away with them a large amount of wealth. After changing their citizenship status, their children stayed abroad, while they themselves chose to stay in China to do business. Most of them are affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party. Beijing seems to be showing particular concern toward not its own citizens in China but people abroad. This video was produced by CCP's mouthpiece CCTV. It is a report on the so-called difficult life amid the pandemic about an American single mother.
The struggle is sometimes we don't.
罗斯原本在洛杉矶国际机场有一份全职工作，自疫情爆发他就失业了。
They shouldn't go through this. They don't have to be worried how we can eat the next day. My mom has to go look for food, or has my mom eaten?
It was said that this lady once worked at the Los Angeles International Airport, but has been laid off since the pandemic. Someone said, in fact, during the pandemic, Americans can receive free food. The government also gives out checks to assist with financial situations. Free vaccines are also available. This is clearly the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda. Someone said if this lady indeed had a full-time job, she would have gotten unemployment benefits of at least $1,000 per week before September. She could also have received plenty of free food, so it sounds inconceivable that she needs to worry about food supply on a daily basis now. Someone said in Los Angeles, free food with many varieties are available for pickup every day. Unemployment benefits are $4,000 per month, which is more than the amount most people made even before the pandemic. Someone said CCTV has been using various methods to deceive the Chinese people behind the Great Firewall on a daily basis. One of which is to make them feel good about China and the Chinese government by depicting the outside world as being a constant state of chaos. By doing so, it has committed unpardonable crimes. Someone said, next time, when introducing socialism, we should say that socialism means not being able to access YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, being jailed and beaten for criticizing the government. A Chinese netizen and university IT specialist named Yao Yunsheng was sentenced to 6 months in prison for using Twitter. His phone was also confiscated. The judgment was issued on June 20th of 2020. The indictment stated that he used Twitter from July 2012 to December 2019 and followed the New York Times, the U.S. Embassy in China, and some others who often make false statements. After reading tweets that damage China's image, endanger China's interests, and insult China and leaders in Beijing, he still retweeted them. He even wrote a tweet himself. Someone said, according to this standard, how many years should China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokespersons Hua Chunying and Zhao Lijian be sentenced to? Someone said, this is nothing. Anyone who likes or follows so-called anti-China content may be arrested in the future. Someone suspected, it is not clear how his activities were exposed. Is it related to his use of Huawei phones? Someone said binding the email account and mobile phone number is equivalent to handing over personal information to the CCP. In addition, when the same text or pictures are posted inside and outside the Great Firewall, it can be found out through big data. If domestic apps are installed, users' personal information would also be shared with CCP agencies. Be aware that the VPN app you use may also be one specifically developed by the CCP. Someone said, this picture shows the interrogation chair used at police stations across China. Someone said, this is the chair that symbolizes human rights in China. Someone recalled, I used to be forced to sit on a tiger bench. There were screws under the 2 gripping rings of the tiger bench. In the middle of the night, head of Lanzhou's State Security Bureau He Bo would come over and tighten the screws. I will never forget the increasing pain of piercing the bones. Even more tortuously, the police used remote control to beat my hand that was already numb. They threatened by saying that even those criminals who had committed homicides knew they would die if they confessed. They still did confess when they were tortured on the tiger bench. In the end, I did not confess as the police expected, but my hands were numb even many years after I was released. This is a video about Uyghurs. According to reports, many Uyghurs died abnormally in concentration camps. Some even disappeared. The CCP did not allow their relatives to hold funerals for them or share the unfortunate news with others, so they could only do this silently to express their pain. It was said that this Uyghur was released today, but his situation doesn't at all appear to be good. Someone said even human rights activists in mainland China lost many pounds due to torture after being arrested. No doubt the Uyghurs would be treated in a worse way. Someone recalled, I remember that after June 4th, the Tiananmen massacre, a mother of a student protester who died said that if we die, our children's grievances will never be addressed or cleared. I have to live well so that I can seek justice for them. The US and 38 UN member states have expressed serious concerns about the Chinese Communist Party's persecution of people in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. Someone said concerns will not make the CCP change, only a determination to eliminate it will truly help.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we